Hi everybody, welcome back to Laaleebee Knits. My name is Natalie. I am a knitter here in Belfast, Northern Ireland, and I like to share my love of knitting here on YouTube. Welcome back. Hello new viewers. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been 2 weeks I think, and it's kind of been uneventful for the past few weeks. Not much has been going on. Work's ramped up a little bit. I've been doing a lot of procrastinating from writing. I've been doing a little bit of reading and going to some coffee shops. And I met Melissa's new baby. Delighted. She's adorable. I can't get enough of her. She's so cute. So I delivered my little baby goodies that I showed last week. And that's about it. My wee mum came round for dinner the other day. We had a little day, just me and mum, which doesn't happen very often when you have 4 sisters. So that was lovely. And that's about it, I think. We planted the garden. Just been keeping ourselves busy. Neil's been busy with work and with his band. He's a drummer in a punk band, and they're about to do, I think they did their first of 11 gigs right through to October, so those guys are busy considering it's like a casual band, but they're doing really well, so I'm all busy for him. He's totally lost his voice this weekend because he likes to get rowdy. So yeah, that's what's been going on here. Nothing too exciting. Should we get into some knitting? First thing I should say, this is my pink velvet sweater by Andrew Murray. I don't think you've seen it on the podcast. I don't think you've seen it finished like this on the podcast. The original is knit with, I think, with a finger and weight merino, and then a suri here to make it fluffy. But I just did standard colour work. I used Cascade Heritage Silk. So I think it's 30% merino, 70% merino, 30% silk. If I'm honest, I think I'd have gone up a size at least. It's supposed to drape and have some positive ease, and this has negative ease. So it turns out my gauge is not my gauge on my finished objects is not matching my gauge swatches that I'm doing, and I don't really know why. It's very frustrating because I'm doing the gauge swatches, I'm doing my homework, it's not working. I think I'm a tighter knitter than most designers, so I think I just should automatically go up a needle size. So yeah, if I was knitting this again, I would definitely go up a needle size. I think I knit the 2X in this, but I'll update my Ravelry with all the sizing details on what size I ended up with. I'll update that in case you're curious. What else? I have 1 finished object and 2 whips to share with you this week, so shall I get started? The first finished object is a pair of simple shorty socks. This is a new design a new pattern by Emma Carter. Emma C Makes on Instagram. She's running a knit along with Beehive Yarns. This is her first pattern, and it's very simple. It's well priced for a basic sock pattern, and yeah, the knit along runs until I believe the 6th of May. So you still have time to join in if you want to. Yeah, this is my little entry for it. These are knit up out of Beehive Yarns, one of their club colorways from last year. They're more sparkly in person than you can see here. I don't know if we're getting the sparkle, but beautiful colour. I think it was either April or May. It's called Blossom. And I just paired it with a little white random mini that I had running around. These socks used 51.4 grams of yarn. So I think if I had made this a little bit shorter, I'd have got a full pair of shorties out of one 50-gram skein, which is nice to know. Sock blocker is also from Beehive Yarns. So yeah, that's my little entry. I'll have to take my little nice picture and submit it on Instagram. Cute. That's my only finished object, which I'm delighted about. I finished it last night, stayed up quite late. So yeah, I have 2 projects that I've been working on the past few weeks. It's been a slow fortnight for knitting. So it has, because I don't really know why. I've been trying to finish things that I have on the needles, and I'm dying to cast on something nice and fresh and new. So I will show you what I have here. My first is my, there's little running away skeins of yarn. The first is my Chiaogoo shawl from Allure. This is a half brioche, half fisherman's rib shawl. Where are these strings coming from? Half brioche on this side, 2-color brioche, and half fisherman's rib. And on the other side, looks like that. This has been a labour of love. Allure is also running a knit along. She's running 2, one for shawls and one for sweaters, and whips are welcome. And this baby has been languishing for, I want to say, a year at least. So that's given me the kick up the butt to get put in some serious time into this. So I've finished with the patterned part, the brioche and the fisherman's rib. First time I've done this, and it's lovely and squishy. It's as squishy as the brioche section. These match really nicely. So I finished that. I did 22, I believe, repeats of the pattern. And then I'm on to the garter sweep along the bottom of the shawl. The way the pattern's written, it's not a straightforward garter. It's a little bit different. I changed it to a straightforward garter because I just needed to not use my brain. So there's increases still in it, but it's just a straightforward garter, increasing as she says. So I've put the end of my, I think I put maybe this much on here, and then this is my garter. I've been trying to do 2 garter bumps a day to keep me going. I don't know how many stitches are on this at the moment, probably about 400 easily, because it's long. Yeah, happy with how that's turning out. It's a scrappy stash buster for me. The knit along runs until the end of May, so I think my plan is, initially I was going to do 40 garter repeats, garter bumps. And then I had a look at my, I think it's my What the Fade shawl that I've knit by Allure, and I think my garter on that has 80 bumps, so it's a lot more. So I'm going to knit until I'm either sick of it and just bind it off, or the end of May comes, whichever's first. But she's well on her way to being finished, which I'm happy about. I've been using the Weaving Stephen method. If you don't know about that, I'll link it below. It's by Stephen West, who teaches you how to weave in your ends as you knit. So you can just snip them off and you're good to go. It does look a little untidy on the back side, but I don't care. I don't mind that. Yeah. She's slow going. But it will be so worth it whenever it's finished, because it's working up beautifully. And I do like a big shawl to wrap myself in. So That's Steady As She Goes. I'm just throwing, I've pulled together a very similar colour palette, and I'm just throwing minis in whenever I feel like it, which is very loosey-goosey of me, but I don't mind. I like how it's looking up. It's working up. So that's living in my Hohi & Co. Pamper bucket. Love, love, love this. These are expensive, but so worth it. It's so worth it. They're really well made. That's my second one I have, and it's expensive to ship over here because there's a lot of customs you have to pay, but they're beautifully made. I think that'll be in my life for a long, long time, so I feel like that's worth it. So that's my shawl project. I had a sock, a shawl, and now I have a garment. This is my last whip that I've been working on this week. This is my Allure camisole. I have to, so I found this pattern on the Chiaogoo podcast. I'd started watching it from the start, and she's very into size inclusivity. And then, so I picked this pattern up, and it did have my size and maybe one or two more, but it's one of the few patterns of hers that are actually size inclusive. And I think the designer, this is the designer, not Chiaogoo. And I think the designer has kind of made the comment that she won't be being size inclusive. She's no intention of making any of her current or future patterns size inclusive. So that's a bummer. And Rebecca on the Chiaogoo podcast addresses that in a later episode, but I cast this on by the time I'd watched it, and I thought, that's a shitty attitude to have. But anyway, this size, I think I'm knitting, she has a lot of sizes in this one. This is the 2XL. I think she has a lot of sizes in this one. So this pattern is size inclusive. The designer is not so much, as far as I know, but it's working out very nicely. So I'm knitting this out of Knitting for Olive Pure Silk in the colour cream, and it doesn't feel like how I was expecting silk to feel, and it does feel like cotton, kind of like dishcloth, but as I'm working with it, I actually really like how it feels as I'm working with it. It doesn't feel like a dishcloth anymore. Or maybe it still does, and now I just like that feeling. I don't know. But anyway, I'm excited to have this garment. I'm excited to have it in that. I'm more excited to wash it and see how it drapes. And luckily, I am on gauge. Never on gauge, but I'm on gauge with this one, which is nice. So it will actually turn out to be the size that I want it to be. It's my little stitch marker from Chapel View Crafts. That's where I was the last podcast. And there's another little stitch marker from Chapel View. Very cute. Yeah, I'm delighted with this. These are supposed to be the cups, right? So technically it's supposed to sit like this, and no harm. I don't like I'm a bigger lady. They don't sit me when they're this low. I need a little bit of support. I don't need things looking like they're hitting the floor. So I think I'm probably going to make my straps a little bit shorter and have the bottom come up like that, rather than as cups, because that's very low. I'll see. I always find with camisoles they're too long. They're longer than I want them to be. I don't think they make camisoles for plus size bodies very well. Like general high street shopping. I have a couple of M&S ones, and I've had to shorten significantly the straps because they're so low. Like they're so low and not flattering, and they don't sit right. So I think I'll probably do it up here and do kind of shorter straps. I think that would be nice. But that's the beauty of knitting one, is that I can customize it. So that's ticking along. It has to be, I think it's about 7 inches here. Has to be 12. So she's ticking along. She's taking her time. But I am enjoying it. I'm excited to get the finished product. I don't know that I'll wear it on the podcast. Maybe I'll wear it under something else. It's very much a layering piece to me. So I'm knitting, I think, the 2XL, and this is 2 50-gram skeins worth of yarn, which I think is pretty good. So I have 2 more skeins, but I don't know if I'll need both. I don't know. We'll see. So that's all my knitting for the past couple of weeks. I've been kind of bored. Not with the socks. The socks, like, I was delighted to cast on the socks because I needed something fun and short and instant gratification almost. So delighted about the socks. Delighted I got them finished. But the other 2, I've been a little bit bored. And I'm dying to cast something else on, but I don't want to have 2 garments on the go at once because this will never get finished if I start knitting another garment. And I do want it. So I have to think about that. I do want to cast something on, like desperately. Haven't touched my jumper from last week. Remember I said last time I was like, oh, I'll have a finished jumper. That's my goal. Didn't touch it. I actually forgot that I finished the body and I just have to knit on the sleeves. I've done the colour work on one sleeve. I have to do the colour work on the other sleeve and then it's done. Well, and then the rest of the sleeves. Yeah, I forgot that it was that far. And I was like, I can't bring myself to knit the body of that. And these 2 as well, there's too much stockinette knitting. And so I just didn't touch it. And I don't think I'll probably touch it again next week. I think I'll cast something new on. So technically I do have 2 garments on the needles. Oh. But I want to cast something new on. Anyway, speaking of that, my mother has given me plenty of plans to cast new things on. So I have 2 acquisitions to show, and then my mum's knitting plans that she's given me. So let's move into acquisitions. Just 2. I've been very restrained. Very restrained. Did I show my mini skein set last time? Yeah, I think I did. Yeah. These are from Pixie Yarn, one of my favourite dyers. And I got my friend Margaret into knitting, and she's been knitting for about a year. She's really taken to it like a duck to water. And so her birthday's coming up, and Pixie Yarn was having a shop update, and I said, she was oohing and eyeing over skeins of yarn, and I was like, you know it's your birthday coming up. Would you like one? So yes, I've got a little skein for Margaret. She knows what it is, so it's okay to share. This one is called Poppin' J. And this is just Margaret in a skein. Look, the little purple. Love that. Isn't that gorgeous? Very Margaret. So that's a little birthday present from Marg. And you can't just order one skein of yarn. So I put one in for me. This is called, how do you say that? Clophotis? Clophotis? Clophotis. Clophotis. I don't know how you say it, but it's beautiful. I actually would love to knit a t-shirt in this. Oh, it's gorgeous. I absolutely love it. It makes me think of, do you know those sweeties you get? They're not refreshers, but they look like refreshers. It's like a little UK sweetie. that you used to get. Chews. Like refreshers. They look like chews to me. Yum. Or fruit salad. Where's my head today? They look like a fruit salad, sweetie. Love. Love, 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 love. So, Margaret and I got a little skein each. It's very Wednesday Addams and our wee sunny mate, isn't it? Yay! Excited for that. I've been very restrained. Pixie Yarn also did they have a colourway called Belle, which is like a bluebell type vibe, and she's done a fade that is so beautiful, and she's done it in DK, and I could really knit a new spring sorrel in it, but I've resisted so far. But it's beautiful. It is beautiful. And if I was to purchase that, then I would knit that straight away, and surely that's a good thing. But I also have 3 spring sorrels already, and do I need any more? Don't have a blue one. I haven't decided that yet. I'm really tempted. I'm really tempted by it. But yeah, I've been resisting. I have to do some writing today, and I think maybe if I get a good chunk of writing done, I could maybe treat myself. Okay, so my wee mum came round, and it started off, she needed some socks because her feet were cold, so I let her dig through my box of socks. I actually have 2 boxes of socks, and she was digging through, and she was like, "Natalie, you have far too many socks. I shall take some off your hands." And I was like, "You're a joker." You're joking. So she dug through. I gave her a pair. She tried to make off with another pair, and I was like, "I'm not having those ones." They were the first pair of socks I ever knit. The yarn is a Madeline Tosh yarn called Medieval. So of course I need to keep them. They've been darned so many times. They are too big. But they're my first socks, and they're called Medieval, so I have to keep them. So she didn't get those, but she did get another pair. And she's also put in a request for her birthday for a pair of socks. So that led to, okay, let me go get my yarn and you can pick through and choose your colours. Now, Mum is an interior designer, so she's all about colour choice. So we were sitting in my living room surrounded by my yarn stash, and she was pulling yarns, like putting them together, and it was so much fun. I really loved it. So she picked this skein. It's a little random one that was Giddy Aunt Yarns. Sadly, you can't get any more. And she put this little mini with it, which surprised me because she hates green. And they're little green speckles, but it goes so nicely with it. Look at those little soft pink speckles in that. So this is a 50-gram skein and a 20-gram mini. And I'm going to knit some socks for Mum. I know the specific pattern she wants, I just can't remember the name of it. So I'll show you next time once I've cast it on. But I think I'm going to save it, cast it on. Her birthday's in June, so I'll knit these in May. And they can go towards my Grocery Girls Sock Bash entry. They're so beautiful together, aren't they? So those are going to be socks for my mama. And then I've knit her a couple of shawls and garments over the years, and I knit her one that out of the Camarose Sneffnug, which is like a cotton with yarn blown into it. It's kind of like drops air, and she loves it, and she's dying for another garment made out of it. So we've been looking, she's been putting her order in, seeing what she can get, what she might like for it. She really likes Petite Knits vibes, so we were looking at what garments she wants, and as we were looking, she came across, let me find this item, which is the Sunday collar. and she really, really wants that. So I'm gonna knit this for her birthday as well. And very luckily, I have yarn in stash for it. So it needs 175 yards, which is not even a full skein of fingering weight yarn. And I have leftovers from my diaphanous raglan, a pattern by Jessie My Designs that I knit a few years ago. I knit it out of beehive yarns, fast becoming another favourite on the podcast. I knit it out of this colourway, which is called Tulle. And this is the matching mohair. And yeah, I'm gonna knit this little collar for my mum for her birthday. So she's usually very into her neutrals, but she's having a little pink moment. So this is my mum's. These are the birthday gifts for my mum. I'm so glad to have. Oh, well, actually, I would love to make something for myself with this, but my mummy gets what she wants. So that's going to be beautiful. I think she's going to love it. So I could cast that on. It's my new cast on, but it's not a cast on for me. And in other news, I heard that Pacific Knit Co, who does the doodle patterns, is doing a Bridgerton themed one. It's called Regency Romance, I think. It's coming out 1st of May. And I'm very excited about that. I saw that Maddie from We Share Needles has knit herself a Kindle cover cozy type thing. And I was thinking a little colour work, like with those doodles, that would be a really nice colour work project. So yeah, I could knit a little, I'm itching for colour work, you know, and a little Kindle cover would be a nice way to do that. And I know quite a few people that have Kindles. They would make nice presents. But I think Maddie just made up a pattern herself. So I would need to think about it. But that would be nice, wouldn't it? Especially with those doodle patterns. I love knitting those. They knit up so quickly. That's all my goodies I have to share with you. It's a very quick podcast. Zoomed through it. Yeah, I've just been ploughing along, feeling a little uninspired. Yeah, I just want something exciting to knit. And the spring sorrel is very nice. And that blue fade is beautiful. And I don't really want to knit another, I don't really want to cast on another finger and weight garment just yet. Even though finger and weight is the majority of what I have in my stash. I have Drops Bell for the next t-shirt that I'm gonna knit. I'm definitely not gonna cast that on until my camisole's finished, but I'm gonna knit the Tolsta tee in that. So yeah, I need to have a little think. I think maybe some doodles would be nice. Don't really, it's not the season for cowls. I think maybe those little Kindle covers would be nice. I want to see how Maddie finishes off the top of her Kindle cover. Whether she does a little flap or maybe just do a little tight band of ribbon to make sure it doesn't fall out. Interesting. Well, that's everything that I have. I hope you've had a good couple of weeks. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for some new followers. Hello. So excited to see you. And I will, if I don't see you here, I'll see you on Instagram. And hopefully I'll see you in 2 weeks. So take care of yourself and see you soon.